give some Bellator 209 spoilers because it was kind of weird. It was not even kind of way back things or whatever. Like they have a whole fight, like a whole like whether it be like earlier in the day, like it's new, but this is actually even more weird than what they normally do. Like this fight card happened early yesterday, early Thursday, late today, Friday. So it's already been more than a day that's passed since this fight's actually happened. The results already been through, and they're planning to go and play them back on TV later on the day, Friday. So it's like weird. But yeah, I'm testing this thing out. So first, I'm gonna give the Bellator spoilers, if like Bellator, and then I'm some early fight predictions for UFC Fight Night. Was it 141 Blaze versus Nagano? So the first thing, the spoilers. So the first fight, I think on the main card was Olga Rubin or Cindy Danduiz versus Olga Rubin. A fight not too many people care about. I really didn't care about. I didn't even predict it. Um, Olga Rubin had an upset victory over Cindy Danduiz. I don't know how she beat her, but she beat her, and so upset victory and some shakeup in that division. So first, spoiler: Olga Rubin defeats Cindy Danduiz. Then the next fight, probably the only fight I really cared too much about on this card was Phil Davis versus Vadim Nemkov, and this fight went to Vadim Nemkov via split decision. And again, I don't really see these fights. I just saw the results online for people talking about it, and some official sites gave some results like underhand, like they say you want to see the spoilers, just click on here, blah blah. But this stuff happened, and I heard some people watch it like we're watching it live and tweeting about. So you've heard from different places. But as far as the Phil Davis fight, Phil Davis lost to Vadim Nemkov via split decision. And how this fight probably played out, it's like since I didn't really see it, I heard in the first round that towards the end, Phil Davis was attacking a Kimura. Then whatever happened after then, but I guess pretty much the first round probably was Phil Davis round. Matter of fact, probably all the rounds were close, but I think Phil Davis probably won the first round clear. Then the last two were close. I mean, close because you know how Phil Davis fights. He doesn't have the most authority. He's not the most authoritative, like store. Like let me say this. He's not the most. He doesn't have the most. What's called. He doesn't gain the most respect with his striking, or at least to the judges and to his opponents, because it's not like he puts too much power on his strikes. He did get a cut like a drop, like a TKO win in one of his fights in Bellator, and a head kick knockout in his prior Bellator outing. But more so, he kind of walks around like strikes like he's on skates and stuff. So it's like you're not really committed to anything. So people don't really score the best with the judges. He could be outlanding somebody like 2-1 or maybe edging about 4 strikes, but they'll probably give he had to like double them in strikes to win on the feet because it's not like he's really throwing that much power, or at least it doesn't look that powerful. It's not the judges aren't really scoring his strikes as much as they score other people's strikes. So I'm guessing like he probably couldn't get a takedown as much in those second and third rounds. It was a striking match where he probably landed more strikes than Vadim Nemkov, but Vadim Nemkov at least looked like he put more power on the strikes. And even though they might not have landed, it looked like he was, I guess, controlling the fight because he was the one throwing effective strikes, whereas Fidesz was landing, but his strikes weren't effective because there wasn't really full commitment and full power on him. So I'm guessing that's probably what happened. And maybe Vadim Nemkov got a takedown somewhere, and there was some grappling there where he got at least won some of these exchanges in grappling. So it was very close. It could have went either way, but they went towards Vadim Nemkov. And I wanted Phil Davis to win. Like, the only fight I was kind of rooting for in this card. Like, I like some of these fighters on this card, but the only fight I was really rooting for in this card was Phil Davis. He lost a split decision loss. But I guess it makes things fresher. Now you got a fresh prospect who's undefeated in Bellator and still on the rise and stuff. And he's gonna be a new fresher face for Ryan Bader when he's finished with the heavyweight Grand Prix. So I guess it all works out for that as far as that goes. So Vadim Nemkov defeats Phil Davis via split decision. Then on to our main event, we had Pitbull Patricio Freire. Let me get his name right, but I'm just gonna say Pitbull because you get that kind of mixed up. So Pitbull, younger Pitbull, featherweight Pitbull versus Emmanuel Sanchez. And I heard this was a very exciting fight going back and forth. And like I think it was 2-2 going into the final round. And then Pitbull pulled it out in the fifth round. His skills started to break through. Like when they got tired, and in the championship, the final, like the fourth and fifth are the championship round, but the fifth round is always the round the champions got to win. If you want to be a true champion, you got to win that fifth round. And Patricio Pitbull pulled that round out. He started getting sharper in that round. Man Sanders started to slow down and started to work him up. I think attacked the submission like towards the end of the fight, didn't get it, but he by winning that final round, he edged the fight, got 3 rounds to 2, and won the fight, defended his belt for I think the fourth time. I don't know if it was second to fourth time, but definitely like the fourth overall time he defended his belt. So a good win. Showed it show what being a champion's about and got that win. So as far as the results, you got Olga Rubin defeated Cindy Danduiz. You got Vadim Nemkov defeating Phil Davis. You got Patricio Pitbull defeating Emmanuel Sanchez. So those are the spoilers for Bellator. But now let's go to predictions for early predictions for UFC Fight Night 141 Blaze versus Nagano. Like this is not my final predictions, but it's my predictions right now before I go into detail or at least a little bit more detail and kind of look up who these people are and stuff like and say I'm clearly going with this fight. These are my final picks. They're not changing. Before I go that these are the early picks and they can change are liable to change. But I'm gonna predict them as far as right now. I'm just giving to you live. No one's in here right now, but I'm giving to you about as live as you can get, even though there's nobody in here. But as far as the, this fight card. So you got some announced bouts that I'm not too sure are on it yet, but they should be on there. They're not really saying they're on there, but they're on there. So I'm gonna start with those. So you got Louis Smoker versus Sumar Dira, whatever his name is. Suma. He got the same first and last name, so I'm calling him Suma or Sumu in the bantamweight division. And look at Sumu. He's or Sumu squared. He's a very aggressive guy. He attacks you very. He try to get you out of there early. He's a finisher. But where's I don't know about the level of his competition, but looking at that style of being a very aggressive, trying to get you out there early, that's kind of sets him up for Louis Smoker. He's a very aggressive guy. Louis Smoker is the guy that does very well against aggressive people, unless they're aggressive, like controlled aggression, like they're setting stuff up and they're being aggressive instead of just wilding out, kind of aggressive, trying to go desperately, not even desperately, trying too hungry for that finish that they can't even open it. I think that's a perfect guy for Louis Smoker. He's gonna wear him out, take him to the grappling, and probably drown him and submit him in the second round after like this. It's kind of like let him get that little aggression off early, mixing it in the grappling, wearing him out, and getting that submission in the second round. So in this fight, I just got Louis Smoker. It's gonna be second round submission, but that's my opinion. So second round submission. Then in the middleweight bout, we got another announced bout. We got Kevin Holland versus John Phillips. And Kevin Holland, when I saw him in his versus Thiago Santos, I saw a fighter with a good frame. I think he was actually supposed to be a welterweight, but he's still sticking around at middleweight and was in a middleweight fight against one of the most scary guys in the middleweight division. And when I saw him as a fighter who's comfortable, like he's skilled on the ground, skilled on the feet, and he's comfortable. Like he might get hurt, but like he's comfortable. He's not somebody that's like he never looked too panicked against Thiago Santos, one of the scariest dudes. And it almost just looked like a sparring session at some points in that fight because that just shows he's comfortable in the fight and he's comfortable in just about all areas. And I think he's a solid fighter, solid talent. He can definitely grow into a true contender, whether it be at welterweight or middleweight, if he just keeps working on his skill set. Now look at John Phillips. I look at a guy who had a pretty solid record. I look at like his last one. They look scary. Like he got like 4 straight KO wins. Then I look at who he beat, and like he's beating I don't know. He's beating cans like straight up cans. Like these people like 40, 42, like 10-8 and stuff. Like matter of fact, the last guy he fought was like 10-8, knocked him out. So he can all these people who like pretty much just fed to him. Like he's padding his record for no reason. You're not a big star, and you're padding your record for what? So you could get whooped on in the UFC, or at least so you could pad yourself to get in the UFC to get whooped on. So I'm not too impressed by John Phillips. Not even enough to really look into him. I think Kevin Holland has been fighting a better competition. Is fair and well, has a better skill set. And if all he got is like KO punch, I don't really see no submissions on his record as KOs and this over cans. I think Kevin Holland is going to beat him everywhere. I think he's the longer, rangier, younger fighter, sharper fighter, more talented fighter, more potential. Just everywhere beating him. I see Kevin Holland put on a side performance and getting a dominant victory, whether it be KO, submission. I just got Kevin Holland by whatever he wants, beating the Can Crusher. Now onto the card that's kind of actually there right now. We have in the women's strawweight division, Yan versus Shuri Kondo. And I'm gonna say I didn't really look into this fight yet, but Shuri Kondo's a very solid striker. Her grappling's coming along pretty decently, but more so striker. But I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna go with Shuri Kondo off of name value, and I recognize that it just is right now. But Shuri Kondo is who I'm going with in this fight. Next fight we got women's strawweight division, Weili Zhang versus Jessica Aguilar. And Weili Zhang in her fight against was it Denise Taylor or no Daniel Taylor? She just looked real sharp. She has a very good teep kick. She's it might be a 1 inch height advantage for Weili Zhang. This fight's gonna look like a 4 inch height advantage. How she uses her reach. She stands up very straight. Has a dangerous teep kick. It's not just a teep kick to keep you a distance. It's a teep kick that can end like digs into your gut and can end the fight. It's a very powerful teep kick. And she got a very good jab. She has very sharp counters. I think this is a bad stylistic match for Jessica Aguilar, who tries to like fights very short and stocky. I think that Weili Zhang's gonna keep her at bay and be able to tag her up and just keep her at distance. Like when she comes in, she got sharp counters, like counter when she comes in, and just keep her at bay and just mark her for a pretty clear cut decision. So in this fight, Weili Zhang via decision. Then on to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Wu Yanan versus Lauren Mueller. And I haven't looked into this fight at all, so I'm not even going to talk about that fight. I don't know who any of these fighters are. Well, I know Lauren Miller from that season, but I don't really watch the season too much. And beating Shayna Dobson by wrestling land or somebody who's really grappling not really up to the par or really even notable, it's not going to be like, oh, she's a solid fighter. That really didn't tell me anything about her in that performance. But so I'm not talking about that fight. Then on to our next fight, we got in the bantamweight division. Another fight I didn't really look into. We got Ping Yan Liu versus Martin Day. Didn't look into that, so I'm not going to talk about it. Heavyweight. Next fight, we got in the heavyweight division, Hu Yan Zhang versus Hu Yao Zhang versus Rashad Coulter. And kind of looking at both these fighters, It's kind of like another one of these fighters where like two fighters on the let me yeah, my arm falling asleep. But yeah, maybe I should get a camera or something. But who cares? I mean, let's not even talk about it. Let's just get back to the video. Kind of find a way to rest my arm while doing this. My arm's tired from all that weightlifting, but this is what you get when you get live. You get somebody. You don't get those cuts in the video. You don't get those stuff. You get the real, authentic arm fatigue, and you just watch the video, and it just keeps rolling. It don't stop. No cuts, no edits. It's just live. But yeah, heavyweight division: Hu Yao Zong versus Rashad Coulter. When I look at Rashad Coulter, um, well, you can't really. It's hard to find a positive, but he's 0-3 in the UFC, all three knockouts. But it's fought some decent competition. But like losing 0-3 and getting knocked out, that's not the way to go. But as far as his Rashad Coulter goes, he has very good. Like I'm gonna say, he has decent speed for heavyweight. He has power, but what heavyweight doesn't have power? But as far as Rashad Coulter goes against Hu Yao Zong, his only fight was against what's his name? What's that dude? I'm not too impressed with that guy. He lost to. So both of them have unimpressive losses. Both of them have unimpressive performances in the UFC. But like we look at heavyweight, like what as far as Asians in MMA and matter of fact combat sports like boxing and UFC, what Asians have really fared well at the top of the division. So you know how exactly what we mean like their talent field is as far as that country and that region. So you're kind of leading to Rashad Coulter, but you're kind of not just based off his 0-3 record in the UFC. But I'm just going to lean towards Rashad Coulter based off at least having more, putting better performance in the UFC, not power. And then the speed in his hands will be the difference in this fight. So in this fight, I got Rashad Coulter via second round KO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Keenan Song versus Alex Morano. So Alex Morano has underrated jiu-jitsu, but what he mostly does at this level, as far as MMA and the UFC, he just kind of comes off as a very aggressive fighter. He comes with a lot of hooks, comes with a lot of swinging. He pretty much tries to smother you and put his power on you. He tries to be the big dog in the fight. You know, he might not be the biggest imposing fighter. He's very aggressive. He's really gets up into your face, swinging, and he has. I mean, like he does have respectful power. He can touch you, but it's not like that knockout power. If it's that power, like he's gonna make is try to make you feel his presence, to make you kind of this like to make lesser fighters kind of shell up. That's what his whole thing is. And he can knock you out with that punch, or just at least set you up for takedowns, at least set you up to and put you in a bad position, and he will. But against Keenan Song may not have the best footwork, but he does stay in good position to land that straight, land that jab, and straight punches beat hooks all the time. And Keenan Song has a very good straight and has a lot of power on it. And Morano has been stopped like that in the past before. So I think this was he's not Keenan Song's not gonna be somebody to shell up and kind of panic. He will stay in the middle of the fire and he will fire back. He will fire back solid. He will follow back. So and that this fight I think Morano just gonna walk right into that straight, and it's just like a style of Morano, stylistic advantage for Keenan Song. So in this fight, I got Keenan Song via second round TKO. Then to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Lee Jiliang versus David Zawada. So I wasn't too impressed with David Zawada. He fought a pretty solid fighter in his first fight. I'm forgetting the guy's name right now, but I think his name called Hot Chocolate. But I know his first and last name I'm kind of forgetting because it's live. I'm not really looking at it right now, but I know exactly who I'm talking about. But it's a very solid striker, British dude. And he put on a decent performance in that fight. I think he really kept him in the fight. He got outstruck by a lot, but what kept him in the fight was his submission attempts. But against Lee Jiliang, I think Jiliang's more solid in his grappling. He has very better wrestling defense. He has better submission defense. I don't know about his submission offense is that good, but his recognition of submission, like his positions and submission attempts and submission attacks, is better than Hot Chocolate. Then on the feet, maybe he's not as mobile as Hot Chocolate, but he has heavier hands as far as those goes. Maybe not as sharp, but at least with his straight, he has a pretty sharp straight. He has a better chin. But really, like I said, David Zawada didn't really strike with Hot Chocolate that well anyway. So I think Jiliang would be the better striker. He has better submission. So I think this is a better case of styles make the fights, and I think Jiliang gonna be able to negate the grappling effects. Maybe even if he wants to go there, he can grapple with Zawada just enough to, just kind of accept his grappling match and just win by top control. And on the feet, I give Jiliang the advantage pretty much everywhere. Though his defense itself kind of lacks, but I'm gonna go with Jiliang in this fight just based off, being more proven against better competition, been out there more, and like knowing where he's at in the fight and making the right moves. I don't think it's gonna be another one of these like close kind of decisions, but Jiliang's gonna be able to pull out. Like this comes from being in the UFC for years now. He's gonna be able to, especially fighting in like his home country, China. It's all the stuff gonna be working in his favor. He's gonna be more motivated to just do what I don't know, just put on the veteran performance, gritty, but pull it out, do just what needs to be done to get that edge decision. So in this fight, lead Jiliang via decision. Then on to our next fight, we got in the bantamweight division, Sung Yadong versus Vince Morales. And Vince Morales, I'm looking at his record like he's had a solid, entry level UFC fight. Like he has been on, put a like, good out, put out good performances enough to get in the UFC. Showed well roundedness, but nothing really stand out is today. He's like, oh, some next level talent. But Song Yadong, he has one of those like records where he comes like when he's Asian people, he's very young. He comes out of nowhere. Like when they go to one of these Asian cards, they come out and they just put on a memorable performance that makes you put an eye on. Like first, like us as some Asian fighter coming to the card, he's only fighting because they're in that country. He's not that good. Then he comes out there and beats a solid fighter like Felipe Aranas. He destroyed Felipe Aranas. And Felipe Aranas has fought a lot of different talented, like bantamweights who went on to be top 10 and top this and that. And none of them have ever really stopped him. And Song Yadong just ran through him, beat him everywhere, destroyed him. And Felipe Aranas might not be like a big name that like most people really care about, but as far as like you look at 135, somebody a good way to gauge talent, that's Felipe Aranas. He could at one point could have been a very top. I mean, he was at one point a solid prospect in the bantamweight division, but he kind of fell off that like over the years. Like when he first came to UFC, he was a solid prospect at bantamweight. Whatever the case, Song Dong ran through him and put on a good performance, stopped him with elbows in the second round, beat him everywhere, and give him no chance at all in that fight. So when I look at Vincent Morales, I don't see anything that really challenges me too much against Jadong, at least early on, without checking too much into it. So this fight basically got Song Jadong just put on working performance because Felipe Randes had good grappling, he had respectable striking, and he got beat everywhere. When I see the Vincent Morales, I don't really see the same skill set, at least at that same level. So it's like it's kind of like almost a step down in my opinion in this fight. But I see Song Jadong just get another stoppage victory. So I see this like fight via first round submission. I mean, first round KO slash TKO for Song Yadong. Then on to our next fight we have in our co-main event in the heavyweight division, Alistair Overeem versus Sergey Pavlovic. And looking at Sergey Pavlovic's victories, he's fought some decent Russians, but maybe he didn't even fight the best of the Russians, at least in that area. Or maybe that is, or maybe that isn't. Maybe some of them moved and started going to different organizations. But when I see like the more notable Russians, I don't really see them on his record. I thought maybe this was that person or that person. But now I look at their records, I'm like, oh, it's not even the same guy who I was thinking about. Now I look at their records, who they beat. And I'm not really too impressed by his skill set. I think he maybe got one submission, not the most grappling. He has decent size. He's 6'3". He's pretty muscled out. Overeem still gonna have the height. This guy's gonna have the youth and maybe be stronger, maybe be that. But Overeem still gonna have plenty years of experience. So he's gonna be the better striker, be the better grappler. And really, all this guy gonna be looking for is the knocker punch. Like most people that fight Overeem, they're gonna be looking to touch his like not even suspect. It's obviously Glad's chin and Overeem's chin. But I think Overeem's gonna be able to do whatever he wants in this fight. Maybe his takedown offense still kind of garbage, but at least he's gonna be able to be mobile, attack the legs, attack the bodies, step in with knees, and just kind of pick Sergey Pavlovich apart. And Pavlov is really gonna be hunting for the chin. That's what his chance to victory is hunting the chin against Overeem. I don't think his grappling is gonna be that effective against Overeem. It's gonna be having to hunt the chin. And I never really pick fights off somebody hunting the chin. I'm not too confident ever picking Overeem because of that chin. But his skills are undeniable. You can't deny how good Overeem, like all his skills and from all these years, like he has solid jiu-jitsu, solid striking, solid this. But does make some bad decisions, does have a glass chin. That's about it. And now, like I said, I can't really pick Pavlov just off a puncher's chance. So I'm going with Overeem in this fight. And I think it's probably gonna be a third round stoppage. He probably gonna mix it to, like what he does. He's gonna move around, change angles, come this way, come that way, come over top with a hook. I mean, not with a weird overhand. So he does some weird strikes. Now, see like that body kick opening up and him getting that in the third round and stopping Pavlov. So in this fight, I got Alistair Overeem via third round KO slash TKO. Then on to our main event, we got in the heavyweight division, Francis Ngannou versus Curtis Blades, a rematch. But like even in the first fight, it wasn't like a real stoppage. It was like a doctor stoppage. Like Curtis Blades wanted to continue, but his eye was swelled up, so the fight got stopped. And he took plenty of Ngannou's punches. So I don't know. Ngannou's supposed to be one of the hardest hitters in history. He's supposed to hit like 5 Mack trucks, but Curtis Blades took all those. I don't think he got dropped in that fight. He got his eyes swelled up. And he was still like I think first round he kind of kept Ngannou on his back the whole time. But I think who's involved more over this time since like their last fight was Curtis Blades. He's gotten much better. He's went on a pretty good tear. Hasn't lost since. His cardio's getting better. He's getting more confidence. His striking's coming along. His ground and pound's coming along. Whereas Francis Ngannou he just kind of lost himself in that Stipe fight. But it's not even his fault for losing himself in that stupid fight. It was just kind of a step up, and the skill sets really weren't there. Now it's kind of affecting him mentally. He had that motivation. He was like knocking everybody out back and forth, back and forth. Then he fought somebody who was actually going to fight is smart. They have a skill set. They know that his grappling's weak, and you could strike. You could at least hold your own with him on the feet, and then you can mix him on with the grounding. Like you have a clear, easy path to victory, or at least a very easier path to victory, or at least a more workable path to victory. And then, like it just kind of broke him down. He lost all the confidence getting worked for 5 rounds. That it kind of left him in a Derrick Lewis fight. But then again, Derrick Lewis is just a weird guy. He can definitely have that power. He can knock you out at any time. So it does make you kind of cautious. But so he'll be a little bit more open to striking in this Blaze fight because Blaze is not Derrick Lewis. He doesn't have that knockout power. But as far as the rest, I think he can improve on it, but I don't think it's gonna be that much improved. And Curtis Blades is gonna be more confident. Curtis Blades is gonna be striking him more in this fight, and he's gonna be mixing in the takedown with the striking now. Which Francis Ngannou's still gonna be trying to do. Then he'll be trying to sprawl. He's gonna be trying to land that uppercut or maybe that overhand. It's not gonna be too much difference about Francis Ngannou. He doesn't really have. I think he has a pretty decent leg kick, but he doesn't throw it too much. He has probably some powerful body shots, but don't throw them. I mean, as far as body kicks, he don't throw them too much. I think even if he throws him against somebody who's as good of a wrestler, Curtis Blades can be able to take him down. And it's a 5 round fight as well, so Blades can take his time with Ngannou. Ngannou has to kind of get him out there early, whereas Blades can get him out there early, or just take his time with him, just taking him down, and maybe hunting a submission early, or a ground and pound early, or just take him down and just weighing on him. You know, like wrestlers do, like they could just take you down, weigh on you from any position. Like Stipe did, smart stuff, not really making Ngannou work and not making himself work. Just wearing Ngannou down, wearing those big power punches down, wearing those arms down and stuff. And I think it's Curtis Blades fights like his fight all around. He just has to avoid the one thing Ngannou has knockout power. If he can just drain him, make it a long fight, make it a tiring fight, that's his best path to victory. And I think that's what he's gonna do. I don't think he's gonna come out there trying to make it no like now he's not gonna try to go out there and make no statement. He's not gonna go out there and try to knock Ngannou out on the feet. He's gonna go out there and do what he does. He's gonna wrestle. People might call it boring, but he's gonna do that. Probably wear him out in the first. And I think he has a very good chance to stop him. I think his takedowns are a little more aggressive, more dominant, more. He has a little bit better technique to his wrestling than Stipe has. I think he could, put a little more oomph on those takedowns, make him feel those takedowns more, slam him down a little bit, knock the wind out of his stomach, knock the wind out of his chest a little bit. All that stuff going to leave Ngannou more susceptible to getting finished better, whether it be by submission or TKO, because he's not going to have that energy to fight back. So I'm saying like a late round stoppage, something like in a fourth round TKO for Curtis Blades over Ngannou. So in this fight, I have Curtis Blades via fourth round TKO over Francis Ngannou. And that concludes my fight prediction, or my pre-fight, my early fight predictions for UFC Fight Night 141, Blades versus Ngannou. And then you got the cops make some noise right now. So that's about my time to end this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed the live, leave a comment in the comment section below. And that concludes this video. And I don't know, let me see how you end this name. Yeah. Peace.